class. I'm gonna do a short introduction on the pharmaceutical industry and all the related innovation stuff in that presentation. So just talking about a general landscape, it's a very innovative industry because a successful drug can make a huge profit. I'm just gonna make an example from Lipitor from Pfizer. This is also the company that I've chosen. So Lipitor is a lower cholesterol drugs that used by millions of people over the world. So far, it's the best-selling drug in the pharmaceutical industry, with estimated annual revenues of about 10 million US dollars, just like 10 years ago. So really, the drug's making lots of more money in 2019 now. However, it's not all companies are successful in developing radical innovative drugs because so costly, it costs about nearly 1 billion US dollars to develop a new drugs, and that gonna promise a new successful drug or even not gonna make it to the market. But then so far, all pharma companies rely on radical innovation to survive in the market. Obviously, then semi-radical and incremental innovations are also a strategy for them. So, who's the top pharmaceutical innovators? So Pfizer is the one that I've chosen. It's a lot of drugs. Lipitor is the cholesterol-lowering drugs. Viagra, that's a case study, and I'll talk about in later slides. Roche is a Swiss a company. There's a lot of oncology to cure cancers for patients. Johnson & Johnson, you know them a lot because obviously everyone used the powder, the baby powder from J&J. Sanofi, the French one, Merck. So all of these making their innovative drugs, and if I got time, I can talk to you on each company because each of them they got a separate innovative drug portfolio. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the innovation strategy in pharmaceutical company. So I found a really good study from PwC, and they did a survey on the top executive, the CEO of a company, and they asked what their innovative strategy. So most of them say that they start the company and innovation with the culture, and they incorporate innovation into the company culture. They focus on their people. They focus on their 3 Rs, which is recognition, reward, and risk. Also, they create a failure-friendly environment, so no one's gonna be punished to making a failed innovation. Also, they add leverage on external collaborator, network, academics, and other competitors as well. Not only focus on products, they also focus on a business model, customer experience, technology, system, processes, services, and supply chains. And I find that this is match exactly 7 rules of innovation. I think that's pharmaceutical companies quite better, like similar to what other companies in terms of innovation and strategies. I'm going to talk a little bit about the leadership because, as you know, that's the first rules of innovation. So it's really an important factor of innovation. You can see that a lot of definition on the leader. So I chose this one because quite straightforward. So basically, you can agree that there are 2 types of leadership: the builders and the transformer. So the builders, they're more careful. They don't want to make huge change. They rely on incremental innovations. And on the other side, the transformer, they're willing to take risk. There are no boundaries to them. They can do everything, and they're willing to take big risks. And people found that big pharma leadership, they tend to be more builder. Even IBM and Kodak, maybe Kodak failed because they got so many builder CEOs. But on the other side, many biotech or e-story companies, the leadership can be a transformative people. And then coming to Amazon and Apple, I think the leadership is mixed of 2 types, the builders and the transformers. And I think this is quite a typical innovation model in terms of leadership. Okay, so I'll talk about the 3 types of innovation. Viagra. Anyone used Viagra before? Don't be shy.
Only you.
Okay. Okay, that's all right. Well, it's really a radical innovation. It's bring happiness to family. Yeah, so it's really great happiness for people. But then I think many of you know that virus originally from is a failure of a hypertension treatment project. So Pfizer from 1990 they tried to develop a new drug to treatment hypertension, high blood pressure, but that's a fail because it didn't bring good results. But then, interestingly, when the nurse they observe the patient taking part in the study, obviously they don't see any improvement in the hypertension or high blood pressure, but they see something else, and you know that side effect, right? And then that's the reason that they developed that drug into Viagra, which is a treatment for erectile dysfunction. The sales reached nearly $2 billion 10 years ago. This best-selling drug just after Lipitor, the cholesterol-lowering drugs. And then coming to the semi-radical innovation, so they've done a lot of selling with Viagra, but now they wanted to create a new market for Viagra. So they don't sell that drugs to the men anymore. They find a new indication. Now Viagra can use to treat the baby as well, because many babies they born with a heart defects that making their blood pressure in the lungs. They got defects in the blood pressure in the lungs, and people call the disease a pulmonary hypertension. And Viagra is a really effective treatment for that disease for babies. So obviously they create a new market for Viagra. And for incremental innovation for old people, maybe 70 years old men, they couldn't swallow, they got difficult swallow their tablets, their food. So they reformulate Viagra into under the tongue tablets. That means that you don't have to swallow a tablet, you just have to put the tablet under the tongue, and then the drug dissolve into your body, and that exerts effects. And this is a small improvement, that's a really increment innovation, but then it can reach another segment of customers. Another example of semi-radical innovations is actually from my workplace. So at the moment I'm working part-time in a retirement village, so taking care of old people. And really old people, they got dementia problem. They got really bad memory and they couldn't remember things, and they can't remember their family members or their friends anymore. And then it's even more difficult to give them medicine because they're refusing to take medicine. They don't want to swallow your pills. So Novartis, they developed a new formulation. Instead of making pills, they make the patches. So you can just stick a patch on the skin, and then the drug dissolves through the skin into the body. Then really you don't have to force the elderly to swallow their tablets anymore. You can just stick the patch on the skin then to cure the disease. And that's really a semi-radical innovation. Okay, so who's the play to win or who's the play not to lose? Obviously, Pfizer, with the case of Viagra, they're a visible play to win company. They are first people to invent Viagra, a breakthrough innovation. But then other companies, they can always rely on incremental innovation to place in a play not to lose model. So for example, Eli Lilly or the German company Bayer, they just change the chemical molecules a little bit. So they don't create Viagra, but they create a similar drug molecule. So in the case of Eli Lilly, they call Cialis, or Bayer, they create Levitra. So different drug molecules, but similar effects. So they are the play not to lose players. So it's interesting here, you can see that the blue line here is the sales of Viagra from 2012 up to present. And all other lines is a play not to lose competitors. So obviously play to win players, they always take the top position in the market. Interestingly, you see the sales drop here in 2018, just about this time. You know why? Because Viagra lost the patent. So other drug companies, they can make the same molecules as Viagra. And you can see a big drop sales here in Viagra now. So that's why they couldn't market Viagra for erectile dysfunction anymore, and they always try to find a new market for Viagra. That's why they give a drug to the baby to treat the disease of the lungs. So, and they survive with that radical, semi-radical innovation. Okay, so I'm going to talk shortly about models and metrics, how to measure innovation in pharmaceutical industry and how do they use different models of innovation. Pfizer, but also similar to other drug companies, they use a few innovation models. They use open innovation, meaning that they create network with other companies, other partners, including academic, university, institutes. Multi-channel externalization, meaning that doing licensing and acquiring projects from external or smaller biotechs or smaller biotech startups. Federating innovation, that means that they build separate smaller company within the big corporation. So by creating smaller company, they can avoid damaging their current pipeline R&D project. And they can also avoid the company antibodies. So we can, coming back to rule number 5, neutralize company antibodies in the 7 rules of innovation. Digital transformation, increasingly they use data analytics as a transformative tools for their innovation. But then again, measuring pharmaceutical innovation is quite difficult because it's really difficult to get a good measuring models. Either people find it's we can classify through the mechanism of action of a drug, or the patient needs or customer demands, or the therapeutic values of either drug improving the quality of life of a patient. And obviously, we can always try to use profits and margins as a way to measure in innovations. So most of the companies, they use a 2-dimension matrix to measure their innovation. On the vertical line, that's the new product to margin convergence, meaning that how well do your new product sales convert to higher gross margin. And on the horizontal axis, they measure the R&D to product conversion, meaning how well do your R&D dollars convert to new product sales. So if you got a really high values in both the matrix, then you are the leaders in innovation. But then coming to nowadays, they use different models as well. It's quite interesting. Investment. So how much you willing to invest in the innovation project, or pipeline health? So how the trend, they measure the trends of opportunities, or they can collect more data, or maybe you can get to know more the research network within your field. Return, so not only a returns in terms of investment in finance dollars, or maybe you can get return in your new knowledge body, or you got other projects to follow up in your R&D department. And finally, culture and capabilities. I don't know how to say. But basically, yeah. So basically, they measure different culture and capability aspects. Say, like if you got a innovation team with more geographic diversity, more ethnicity, then maybe you increase in your innovation capacity. I think that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any question? Any question? Yes.
In the slides, you only mentioned the leadership in the 7 rules. Does that mean you think the leadership is the most important?
Yeah, for me that's the most important, and I'll also look through all the literature reviews from other auditing companies like McKinsey and PricewaterhouseCoopers. and they did the interviews with so many CEOs of the pharma industry, then they most of them mentioned that the leadership is the most important of innovation. Yeah.
Okay, can you go back to the second or third slide? I'm not sure. Could you please add the page number or slide number next time?
Okay.
Make it easy for us to ask. So, no, back. This is the first one. No? Yes, next. Here. So, is all data here from the Simon 2003? So this is even for the second part, which is 800 million, okay, to develop a new drug.
Yeah.
From where you read this one?
Oh, okay. Sorry, I missed the
Yeah, because
citation.
it's very critical. But apart
Yeah,
from that,
but that's from the McKinsey report, but I should have put it in the citation.
okay, no.
Yeah.
So next, go to the next. Just slowly. Next, not this one. There is one you are talking. I hear. Yeah.
Mhm.
The second one, which is focus on people, which is. Can you explain how in the drug business you focus on people?
Well, it's the two side facts, our people and the customers. But in many report, they meet people here, that means their people. So they try to retain the people within their department. Because if you hire innovation people within maybe less than 3 years, then it's really difficult to follow up with other projects and so on. So they try to retain people.
But here this is match the 7 rules of innovation, and when we're talking about the people, it should be include the end or the customers as well,
True.
right?
That's true, yeah.
So, okay. And for the measurement, when you measure the drugs, later, I'm not sure which slide, somewhere, whatever, here maybe or whatever. So, you not mention any ethical issue. Do you have any ethical or how you can comment on the
Yeah,
ethical?
that's a really good question. Obviously, then ethical issues is most important in pharma company. But then because of, in terms of Pfizer, the company chosen the FDA, which is the Federal Drug Administration of the US, they got pretty strict regulation. So every trial, clinical trial, they have to follow a lot of process paperwork from FDA, and that including all the ethical tests. That's so I don't want to mention in this slide because that's the job of FDA, then it's too much to mention in terms of pharmaceutical company.
Okay, thank you.